Is it possible that all these Doctor Who leaks have been deliberately leaked by Mrs. Flood herself? I have a theory that may or may not be true, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, so stay with me. Spoilers ahead for the Robot Revolution and potentially Lux as well. I'm going to mention some leaks that have happened. I'm not going to say what they are, so you're safe watching this. Anyway, so as we know, the Robot Revolution came out on Saturday, and yeah, it's getting interesting response. I really liked it, and I know a lot of people really liked it. A lot of people didn't really like it, and that's fine. There's no reason to be an arsehole in the comments about it, but hey-ho. This episode did kind of tease Mrs. Flood a bit more. She looked at the camera once again, and to kind of put it really bluntly, I have a theory. Well, I did before these leaks happened. I had a theory that she's the god of fiction, and that she's sort of been in control of the Doctor's life for quite a while. I think that would be really cool, and I think her breaking the fourth wall would kind of be a good explanation for that. But what's interesting here is that the episode Lux, which is this coming Saturday, seems to play around with the fourth wall a lot more. You know, we have an animated character coming out of the cinema coming to life, and I think that's, you know, it's going to be a bit like The Devil's Cord, where it kind of plays around with the format of TV a little bit. You know, The Devil's Cord had music removed from the world, and, you know, the Doctor looked at the camera, they had a musical segment, the Abbey Road was like a piano. I can definitely see this taking a similar approach, but with the visual medium of art. So, you know, the Doctor and Belinda become animated. The whole thing's a bit cartoony. So I'm just going to say a couple of things that we kind of already know, kind of are assuming. So, like, there's mild spoilers coming from this, but assume that it's all true. So if you really don't want to know anything, don't watch this video. But yeah, as far as we can tell, Mrs. Flood is going to be in it, and early reviews from this episode have not only said that it's fantastic and it's a really good episode, so I'm really excited from that standpoint, but Mrs. Flood apparently in this episode has some kind of relation to what's going on with Doctor Who in the real world. Now, this is what's interesting to me. Is this episode going to reveal or hint at the fact that she's well aware of the leaks? She's well aware that the world kind of knows Doctor Who's in a bad spot and could get cancelled. Are they going to turn around and say that Mrs. Flood has been deliberately leaking information about Doctor Who? Which would mean, you know, probably false information. Because that would be insane. I think Mrs. Flood being a threat to the Doctor in the form of, you know, trying to cancel the show would be incredible. I would approve of that kind of season finale, put it like that. But there are a couple of other things. You know, apparently this episode does feature a fourth wall break, according to these reviews, and there was one little leak, so spoilers for this, that suggested at some point it cuts to audiences, fans of Doctor Who, critiquing this adventure that the Doctor and Belinda are on, which could be a really nice fourth wall breaking meta moment. And I do like the idea of Doctor Who acknowledging the absurdity of a lot of fans, especially the toxicity of a lot of fans. And, you know, I think it could be a fun storyline to touch on, even if it is just for sort of like a brief cameo moment. We'll see if that happens. I think it's looking pretty likely, because a lot of the reviewers are kind of hinting that this sort of thing happens. But yeah, the really interesting thing is that with fourth wall breaks like that, potentially the show acknowledging that it is a show, there is absolutely space for Mrs. Flood to turn around and be the reason the leaks have happened, be the threat of the show being cancelled. So I think that'd be really fun to see, and it's one of the reasons I'm most excited for Lux next week, or this week even, when it eventually does come out. There are a couple of other things the reviewers have said, aside from it being a really good episode. Apparently that is really just the consensus, is that it's kind of the best of the best so far, since in the Disney era at least. But apparently, and again, I guess technically spoilers as well, if you really want to go in blind, there's a motif that Murray Gold uses, that he used to use in the 11th Doctor era. I assume it's I Am the Doctor, right? It's going to be. And I think this happens when the Doctor and Belinda go animated. I think it would be really cool, a really nice way to bring back old Doctors without it cheapening anything. When the Doctor goes animated, it could be all cartoony, and suddenly his head like gets covered in dust, and when that's gone, oh look, it's Matt Smith's face, and there's like a really cheesy, really corny over-the-top cartoony I Am the Doctor playing for a brief second with his face. They don't even need to have him do a voiceover. And then like he just like rubs his face with his hand, and suddenly he's David Tennant. Does it again and it's Colin Baker. Does it again and it's William Hartnell. Does it again and it's Ncuti Gatwa. You know, I think that would be a pretty funny thing to do. I don't know if they will, and I could be completely wrong, but that's just one theory I've got. But of course, and again, technically another leak. I know I keep saying this. I didn't intend on really saying any leaks in this, but here we are. There will be a Harbinger in this episode. It seems that the cinema that they go to in Miami, the movie The Harbinger is playing, and we learnt this from filming quite a long time ago. Some letters fall off that and it spells Harbinger. I think we're probably getting another of the Toymaker's kids. You know, we've got the god of music. We're probably getting the god of visuals or something, in the form of whoever owns that cinema. I mean, to be fair, this episode we could get the god of fiction, and we could be getting that storyline all along, and it's nothing to do with Mrs. Flood, which I think would be really fun. I definitely think a god of fiction storyline is something they need to explore if they really want to do the god storylines. But yeah, there have been a lot of leaks, and a lot of them are making sense. A lot of them are clearly true, but a lot of them don't make a lot of sense, and a lot of them kind of come from a place of, is this guesswork? And I think it would be a really fun real-world twist to turn around and say, yeah, the show itself was dropping all these leaks deliberately to build hype, to build speculation, especially if that includes all of these leaks of the show being cancelled, of the negativity surrounding the show. I think to turn around and say those leaks were Mrs. Flood's doing, it would be a bold move, and I know a lot of people really wouldn't like it, but at the end of the day, no one likes Doctor Who anymore. I do. Everyone else in the world, it seems, hates this bloody show. So really, I just want to see something creative and fun. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to eat it all up because, you know, I'm not going to pretend the Robot Revolution was fucking brilliant. I'm not going to pretend it wasn't. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say on this topic. I just wanted to kind of make this video before Lux came out, get some thoughts out there. So thanks for watching, and yeah, be sure to let me know in the comments what you think of this theory. What do you think Lux is going to be about? How do you think Mrs. Flood is going to take form in Lux? How do you think Mrs. Flood is going to take form for the rest of the series? Let's have a discussion in the comments. And obviously like and subscribe, and stay around for my Lux video on Saturday or Sunday. But until then, stay wibbly, stay wobbly, stay timey-wimey, and I'll see you in the next one.